Joining me right now is Alaska Senator, Armed Services Committee member, Commerce Committee member, and Veterans Affairs Committee member, Dan Sullivan. Senator, thanks very much for being here. You were there yesterday. Tell us what your takeaways were.
Well, look, Maria, the two big takeaways are, first, Joe Biden owns this foreign policy fiasco. As you just saw there, his generals not only said keep a small force there, but they predicted what would actually happen if you didn't. He owns this solely. But the second issue is that it's clear that he has not been leveling with the American people on some of the most critical issues involved in Afghanistan. You know, as you just showed there, he said that his commanders did not tell him to keep troops there. That was not true. He said that al-Qaeda was gone from Afghanistan. We learned yesterday that that was not true. He said that if he was going to keep the military in Afghanistan till all Americans were out. That turned out not to be true. And here's the big one, Maria. He continues to say that the withdrawal, the botched withdrawal, was, quote, an extraordinary success. Yesterday, General Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, said it was, quote, a strategic failure. So these misstatements, these are not some kind of small, minor misstatements the president has been making to the American people. They are fundamental falsehoods, life and death deceptions, and all of that came out in the hearing yesterday.
But I mean, Senator, how much longer are the American people supposed to keep hearing all of these lies out of the leader of the free world, the commander-in-chief? I mean, he says nobody told him to keep troops there. You know, he told us that there's no crisis at the border. He told us that, you know, the 18 states that have come out with new voting laws, they're Jim Crow laws. You know, he told us the spending package is going to cost zero. Where's this going? Is there ever accountability, or should we just say, oh, well, he's lying again?
Well, look, I think what was really important about the hearing yesterday is not just Republicans in the Senate saying he's lying. It was his own generals, in essence, saying that what he's been saying is not true. And that was a big area that I pressed the generals on yesterday. And it's very important for the American people to actually see that. You know, but the other issue is we are going to continue to press on these issues in terms of oversight. The more that we can show the falsehoods coming out of this White House, the more the American people are realizing that the president on this issue, and as you say, on many others, the border in particular, is just simply not telling the truth.
So, Senator, do you want to see accountability? I mean, your colleagues are calling on General Mark Milley and Secretary Austin to resign. Listen to this. Watch.
General Milley, why haven't you resigned?
It would be an incredible act of political defiance for a commissioned officer to just resign because my advice is not taken.
General, I think you should resign. Secretary Austin, I think you should resign. I think this mission was a catastrophe. I think there's no other way to say it.
So, Senator, will they resign?
Look, Maria, I pressed the same issue yesterday in my questioning. As a matter of fact, I focused a lot on accountability. I asked Secretary Austin, what will it take for someone, anyone in this administration to actually accept responsibility, accountability on this foreign policy fiasco? I asked the same question. Has anyone submitted letters of resignation to the president? My own view, as long as the president keeps calling this an extraordinary success, I don't think you're going to see any resignations, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't do what we did yesterday to continue to press on what the facts were, the falsehoods coming out of the White House, and importantly, this issue of accountability, which has made my constituents in Alaska and the American people so mad when they don't see any accountability.
I mean, what a smack in the face to our military to call a success a process that killed 13 of our servicemen. I mean, how could you even attempt to call it a success when 13 servicemen are dead? I got to get your take on economic issues, because even in the face of all of this, Senator, your colleagues are driving fast, trying to change this economy, change America in 2 weeks' time. President Biden postponed his trip to Chicago today so he could stay in D.C., focus on his economic agenda. The House is going to vote on the bipartisan infrastructure bill tomorrow. Bernie Sanders is urging progressives to block it until the $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill is passed. Where is this going, Senator?
Well, look, as you know, Maria, right now the Democrats are in disarray. And I think it's mainly because this $3.5 trillion socialist, cradle-to-grave, reckless spending bill is finally getting a little bit of attention. You know, this will have not only things like the Green New Deal and the largest tax increase in U.S. history in it, but it's also going to supercharge inflation. And we're seeing inflation hurting working families across the nation. But there's one issue, Maria. I was down on the Senate floor the other day making an argument. Here's something else that's going on. There's zero transparency on this giant $3.5 trillion bill. The Democrats in the Senate have not held one hearing, no markups. I challenge the majority leader, come on down to the Senate floor and tell the American people why you're not doing any hearings on it. Of course, it was crickets, no response. Here's my view on why they're not doing it. They're afraid. They don't want the American people to know what's in this socialist spending bill. And I'll tell you this, they do not want the vision of the budget chairman, who is an avowed socialist, Bernie Sanders, marking up his socialist bill that he authored. That's what the American people would see if we held hearings in the Senate. Right now, they're holding zero hearings. The supposed most deliberative body in the world is not doing anything in terms of transparency on this massive bill.
Yeah, I mean, when did you get your hands on the bill? Because there's a picture of your colleague, Senator Barrasso, holding the bill. It's 2,500 pages. How irresponsible to have this enormously big bill, and it's likely that people haven't even read it. I mean, when did you get your hands on it? Because I'm wondering if it's even realistic that anybody read this bill. It's 2,500 pages.
Well, look, the bill's not officially even out there. Like I said, there's been no hearings, not one hearing. There's been no markups. At least in the House, there was a markup. Yes, it was very fast. We haven't done any of that in the Senate. And again, the Democrats are afraid to do it. They don't want the American people to know that this socialist spending bill, authored by an avowed socialist, is coming their way. So no transparency. We need to keep pounding them on this issue because it is unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, it is, Senator. I mean, the largest bill we've ever seen, and there's no debate. That's it. No debate. Dan Sullivan, thank you, sir. We'll be watching.